Welcome to yet another session in money and capital markets, where we're going to look at the valuation of the money market instruments. So we're going to look at question number 11. So these money market instruments, before I look at today, we will concentrate on the repos. We have been looking at different instruments and their calculations and why they're important for short-term financing. Most of these money market instruments have their uh, maturities within a year. Okay, they are very liquid and have low risk. So we looked at the treasury bills, the commercial paper, the negotiable certificates, and bankers' acceptances, and now the repurchase agreements, the repos, are what we're going to look at. So just a quick overview. When we came to the CP, which is a commercial paper, we underscored that this is an unsecured short-term promissory note that is issued by corporations. And we, in our discourse, explained that this one is usually issued at a discount. It is usually issued where? At a discount. And the formula for this particular instrument was given as follows. The face value minus the purchase price over purchase price times 360 over the number of days. So here investors earn a return, which is the difference between the face value and the purchase price. So the maturities are between 30 and 270 days. We also looked at another important paper, which is called the we looked at another important paper, which is called the negotiable certificate, the NCD. So NCD, we discussed that this is yet another important money market instrument whose maturities are within a year or so. And we established that this document is issued by a pool of investors because the amounts are in large denominations. So it's negotiable in that it can be traded also in the secondary markets. And the return here is interest plus the difference in the redemption and the price, and it's safer than CP, certificate of commercial paper, in that it is less liquid than TBs. So it was given by the formula uh, selling price or total received over purchase price divided by purchase price. So we calculated our NCD as follows. If, for instance, if we're given an example where we have our face value as 1 million and we are given our selling price or PV as 970 and the holding period being a year. So calculating this was firstly computing the total received, which was given by adding the 1 million plus the 40,000. Okay. Divided by our purchase price, which is 970. We also looked at another important paper, which was the banker's acceptance. What did we say about bankers' acceptances? A BA, what did we say is a BA? Who remembers the key points on the BA? So we say the BA, which is the banker's acceptance, is also a short-term instrument where the bank acts as a guarantor. So it's a short-term negotiable money market instrument where it's used mainly in international trade, because the bank will become a guarantor of the exporter. So it represents a draft that can be accepted by a bank guaranteeing payment at maturity. So this document is widely used in international trade where the exporters and importers will need to secure uh, payment arrangements. So the key features are that it is issued at a discount. Its maturities range between 30 and 180 days, never exceeding a year. It's negotiable in that the BA can be traded in the secondary market before maturity. And bank guarantee, since banks accept responsibility for payment, the instrument is considered a low risk, and usage is mainly used in international trade for financing, especially letters of credit. Okay, so these are the documents that we looked at, and we could go now to calculating the following question. Any questions before I proceed? Any questions before I start? Okay, so my main question of interest is part D, but since we did these questions together, we are going to um, do the questions, all of them. The first parts of the question will be for you to um, answer based on what we've been learning. Then the last part, I will guide. So, question 11, an investor has a 30-day commercial paper with a par value of 1 million, which is selling for 990. Calculate the yield earned by the investor, 5 marks. Okay, can somebody remind us of what we learned on that? A, how do we calculate the yield of a commercial paper? So the yield is given by what?
The face value minus the purchase price over the purchase price times 360 over the number of days.
Okay, correct. That's 360 over the number of days. Okay. So our face value is how much?
Okay, so our face value is 1 million,
Uh-huh.
then minus 990,000, then over the face value times 360 over 30.
Over 30. Okay. So um when you calculate that, we're going to find what? 12.12%. Okay, thank you for that. Next, somebody to try the second question. A firm has a 90-day commercial paper with par 5,000 selling for 4,850. Calculate the yield it expects to pay. Okay. So what is the formula? For the yield? So we're going to have the face value minus what? The selling price over selling price times 360 over n. So This one is based on the selling price, isn't it? So we have our what? Our N, which is 90, our par value, which is the face value, and our selling price, which is what? 4,000, 4 million. So the yield for this one, therefore, be what? Face value and our selling price over selling price times 360 over N. So in this case, we have what? 5,000, scrapping off the zeros, minus 4850 over 4850 and 360 over what? 90 times 100. We compute that, we're going to get 12.37. Right, but see, an investor redeems a negotiable certificate of deposit purchased a year ago for 970 and receives 1,000 plus 40 interest. Calculate the annualized yield of the investment. So how do we calculate the annualized yield? How do we calculate the annualized yield? We did this question yesterday. Uh-huh. Anyone?
Okay, so I don't know if I'm correct. I didn't log in the class for yesterday. So the total received minus the purchase price
So the yield
over the purchase,
for the NCD,
the total received,
uh-huh,
then minus the purchase price,
received minus what?
the purchase price
This price over.
over the purchase price,
Mhm.
then times 360 over time.
Okay,
Is it? Or is it times 100?
times 100 at the end. Okay,
Times 100, okay.
the total receipt, but we have 360 there. It's supposed to be there. Just total received over, but so we're saying um, selling price minus purchase price plus interest. This is the formula we're using yesterday. Those who were there, it's the same thing. Okay.
Okay.
Uh-huh. So it's the same thing. So selling price minus purchase price plus interest. Because when you add interest plus selling price, the total received over purchase price times 100. So here we're going to have what? 1 million. So I'm going to put 1,000 minus what? 970 plus 40 over 970, right? Times 100. So here we're going to get our value, calculate it properly, as 7.2%. 0.22%. Okay, is that clear? Right. Then now our question of interest. Repurchase or repo. This is now what we are here to learn. So are we together so far?
Yes.
Okay. So what is a repo or repurchase agreement? So before I answer it, so you need to understand the concept. So the repurchase agreement or repo, as it is shortcutly called, is one of the most important instruments that are used in the money market. So this instrument is used in short-term financing in the money market for the central bank for its operations and liquidity management. So it is a short-term collateral loan where securities are sold with an exchange to repurchase it at a later time. So at first glance, it may look like a sell, but in reality, you want to just secure the loan. So the difference between the sale price and the repurchase price represents the interest that the lender will get. So the repo is used mainly by banks, financial institutions, investment funds, central banks. All these provide what? Liquidity to borrowers. And they offer a low risk investment options to the lenders. So what is a repo? A repo is simply a short-term arrangement where one party will sell security, like government bonds, to another party with a simultaneous agreement to buy it back at a predetermined what? Future date. So the counterparty in this case will sell the security here, the borrower, while the other one will be buying the security as a lender. So the perspective of the borrower in this arrangement is that the repo will allow them to raise short-term funds without permanently selling their security. And the lender, in their perspective, they will be provided with interest income whilst being secured by collateral. So this repo is thus called a collateralized loan, okay, with essence of saving as collateral. So how does the repo work? The repo works as follows. Number one, the repo has three main steps. Day one, the borrower will sell the securities. For instance, a government bond to the lender at an agreed price, which is known as the sale price. Day two, the holding period. So the lender will hold the security as collateral. During this period, the borrower will pay the lender the interest, which is reflected in the difference between the buying and the selling price. In step three, the repurchase transaction will take place at a maturity date. So the borrower will repurchase the security at a higher price called the repurchase price. And the difference between the repurchase price and the sale price will represent the repo interest. So this is what happens. So in short, we have investor A, they will sell the bond to investor B at 1,000. And investor A will agree to buy the same bond after 30 days for maybe 1,100. So the 100 kwacha is the interest. So this is how uh, it works like Kalova. Okay. So the repo and reverse repo. So the same happens in two perspectives. There's repo, which is a purchase agreement from the perspective of the borrower. The Then the reverse repo is from the perspective of the lender. So what are some of the characteristics of the repo that we've just mentioned? Number one, we said it's what? A collateralized loan. So it is always backed by securities like government bonds, TBs in short term, which can range from overnight, 1 day to several months, but at most 90 days. So it's low risk, and lenders here will face reduced default risk. And the market instruments here are traded as part of liquidity management. So you need to know these characteristics. So we have different types of repos. There's an overnight repo. We have a term repo, we have a try, open. All these are different types. And we have a buy or sell repo. An overnight just lasts a day where the borrower will purchase in the next day. Term has a fixed maturity of 7 days, 30 or 90. Open has no fixed maturity date. And try, a third party can facilitate the repo by managing collateral. And buy or sell repo is structurally similar, illegally traded as two separate contracts. So these are the types of repurchase agreements that we have. So what are the purposes of engaging in repo agreements? So similar to others, for liquidity management, for hedging, for monetary policy, as well as low risk investment, where investors who have excess cash can lend their funds via repos to earn a safe return, since collateral reduces the what? The credit risk. So these the essence of having a repo. So a repo has its own advantages and its own risks. So the following are the um, advantages of trading using a repo. Number one, it's secure due to collateral. Number two, it's short term, so it's flexible in liquidity management. Number three, the low cost of borrowing for banks compared to unsecured loans. Number four, it facilitates monetary transmission. So the risks are that repos, although they are safe, they're not free from risk. So the counterparty risk is that of if a borrower defaults, the lender may lose despite there being collateral. Collateral risk, if the collateral value falls sharply, it may not fully recover the loan. And liquidity risk is that in stressed market, it may be difficult to liquidate to sell it quickly. And operational risk is that failures in settlement systems may disrupt the transaction. So the repo has its own formula as well. It's given as follows. The yield of the repo is simply the repurchase price over sale price divided by sale price times 360 over the days to maturity times 100. So SP is the selling price, RP is the repurchase price, then days to maturity are given by N. So you discover that all these uh, securities have the similar formula. Just need to know which one and the formula that we apply where. So now, given the formula, we can now answer this question here. So we're given to say the investor enters a repurchase agreement to buy securities at 9,800 or 9.8 million and to sell them back in 60 days for 10 million. Calculate the repo yield. Okay, so what has been given there? Been given the purchase price or sale price is the same figure, SP, which is 9.8 million. The RP is the repurchase price, and the days to maturity is 60. Okay. The interest end is the difference between what? The selling price and the repurchase price. So the interest is actually sometimes what you replace on top there. So this sometimes be replaced by what? Interest, because the interest is the difference in the repurchase price. So this is the interest. So some books will just give you interest over what? Our sale price times 360 over N. Okay. So with that being given, we now calculate the value of the repo. So like I said, we're given what? Our selling price, which is the purchase price of 9.8, a repurchase price of 10 million, and remaining days to be bought back at 60. So the interest is the difference. So the yield is 10,000 minus 9.8, 10 million minus 9.8 over 9.8, 360 over the days maturity, which are 60. So the difference, which is the interest, which is 147 over 9.8 times 360 over 60 times 100. So 9% is our percentage for the repo. Is that clear? Are we together?
Why is the percentage in negative?
It's
It's correct like that.
is a percentage. Why is a percentage in what? This is equal sign.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So are we together? It's clear.
Yes.
So we're together. All right. So if we're together, we end here.